Well, as always, the weekends has just begun. I hope everybody's having a good time. But here in DWZ, we intend to keep your waking weekends a lot of fun. So for today, we're going to be doing three reviews. As you know, recently we just had two events that happened during the entire time. The first one is from Gatoh Move with Road to Korakuen, the Sakura Days. Now they're not yet in Korakuen Hall, but they're building up to that, and they ended up in Shin-Kiba with a couple of good matches. But the main event being for the Asian Dream Tag Team titles in a four-way. And then we move on with, of course, with their other sister flagship, the ChocoPro 361 that took place back on the 16th. We have some very interesting matches that took place as well. And then, of course, finally, we have the much anticipated collaboration between two promotions, West Coast Pro and Marvelous. As you know, they build up a new partnership. We have seen wrestlers from West Coast Pro go to Marvelous, especially when they did a tour there. I have to say, this is going to be a lot of fun. But also, this one features two attractions. The first one is not only just, of course, the West Coast Pro Championship being online. This also is the last official match of Chigusa Nagayo, period. Basically, it's not her last match in the US, but it's her last match in pro wrestling in general. So that's going to be a very interesting match to watch. I think this entire show you guys are going to enjoy. And then, of course, we cap it up with some news updates to give you guys updates what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, and of course, some interesting developments we definitely going to be talking about as well. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome, everybody, to the Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is the channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also do discussion videos, talk about various subjects in pro wrestling, such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also do more news updates. If I'm unable to put it on this episode, I can put it on a separate video by itself. We also do real timing news updates to keep you guys on alert if anything interesting has happened in the world of pro wrestling that has to be alerted for all of you. We also do the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool things as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us. So click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews from this channel and various other cool things as well. But if you like this episode, please click on the like button or a nice comment down in the description below. Now, all introductions are set aside. I believe it's time to get this show on the road. So let's begin with our very first review, and that would be, of course, Gatoh Move. Okay, Gatoh Move, Road to Korakuen, Sakura Days. Now, this particular show happened on the 13th of March in Shin-Kiba, but it was not uploaded into their, of course, YouTube page until today, which is March 23rd. Let's just begin with the entire show. Well, let's start it out with a nice performance from Meishuga being accompanied by Miya Yatsuba and Chi Koshikawa. So I heard her sing the song plenty times during the Choco Pro shows, but I don't know the name of it, so don't ask me. Pretty good show for an opening. Now, however, let's begin with our very, very first match. We have, of course, the newcomer Iri Kanai teaming up with Sayaka. They take on Makoto and Emi Sakura. Now, it's no secret with this type of match, it would be a good opportunity for Iri to get her feet wet. Don't forget, both Makoto and Emi Sakura are veterans of the game. You would probably think that would have been the factor, and of course it did. But I like how this match ended with the teamwork between Makoto and Emi Sakura. Emi Sakura was the top of the corner buckle. Uh, of course, Makoto actually kind of levitated over her shoulders and landed on Eri, and of course, Emi Sakura picked up the W, and that allowed her and Makoto to pick up the win. Now, our next match, we have men's tag team action. We have Rekka. He teams up with Gaia Hawks, who we have seen plenty times in well, we've seen both of them plenty times in ChocoPro. It's great to see them in a Got to Move ring. They face against CDK, Masahiro Takanashi, and Chris Brooks. Now, of course, the much dominant team that would have been played out in this one is CDK, since they have been well known and established in Got to Move for a long time. Don't forget, these guys were former tag champions, so that kind of played out in as well. But of course, we have seen how cohesion both Masa and Chris has been all the time, and it was their double pinfall with the bridge that allowed them to pick up the W. So basically, Rekka and Gaia had no idea how this ended, but it was a bit of a surprise for them. Next up, we have Antonio Honda taking on the current DDT Universal Champion, Maho. Now, this is a non title match, but I wouldn't be surprised if somehow Antonio Honda would have been winning this match it by default, that he would actually get the challenge for this belt. Well, luckily it did not happen. But of course, when it comes to Antonio Honda, he would like to throw in a bit of his comedy routine. I mean, give the palm rating, the fox, that sort of thing. That kind of always the one thing that he will use. However, Mao wasn't playing any games with him until he put him in a submission and forced him to tap out. Next up, we have Miya Yatsuba taking on, of course, coming straight out of Tokyo Yoshi Pro, Mizuki. That's right, the same Mizuki who it was tag team with Yuka Sakazaki, the same Mizuki. Now, some of you may question why is she there. Here's bit of a history. Emi Sakura was one of Mizuki's instructors who trained her herself. She used to be part of the promotion until she went freelancing and then ended up full time with Tokyo Pro. But however, she still is welcome to Got to Move / Choco Pro by Emi Sakura, since she is her student. Of course, this match was going to fall in Mizuki's favor because everybody loves Mizuki. I mean, she's incredible as a wrestler. I mean, I will never forget when she won the Princess of Princess Championship. But now it's like she's facing against Miya Yatsuba, who is a non Emi Sakura trainee. She was never trained by Emi Sakura, so I thought it would be played out. But however, Mia has shown a lot of fighting spirit. She's been winning matches here and there, but when it comes to Mizuki, that's a different story. So Mizuki put her away with the cutie special. 1, 2, 3. Adios. Good night. Now, our main event is a four-way match for the Asian Dream Tag Team titles. We have team number one, Sayaka Obihiro and Monero Fujita, versus Tokiko Kihara and Shuichiro Katsumura, and then there versus Lee Yoneyamako and John Shido, and of course the champions, Best Bro. Now, it's no secret the two of these teams that, of course, well, mostly Sayaka, Obi, and Fujita, they have targeted these belts before. It's no secret that that's what their game plan would have been. I would have assumed in the back of my mind that, of course, Obi and Fujita would have been the one team that would have dethroned them. But however, of course, everybody wants to be the champions. Now, keep in mind, in this type of match, the Best Bros don't technically need to be pinned or submitted. So basically, they know that. Of course, they try to throw them out of the way to ensure that this match ends in one of their favor, but that kind of backfired because the Best Bros beat all odds until, of course, it was the Dolphin press by the Best Bros onto Obi Hero, and then of course Mei Suruga picked up the win by pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Good night, Obi, and the Best Bros retained the titles. Now, during the post show, everybody decided to celebrate, of course, Mizuki's birthday. I did not know it was her birthday, but it was great that they get to celebrate. Um, we do know they will be heading for Korakuen Hall real soon. This is just the beginning till there because they haven't been in Korakuen Hall for nearly about maybe 6, 7 years or maybe 8. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to that day when that happens. So I think that's pretty much it. What we have with Gatoh Move. Let's move on with their sister flagship known as ChocoPro. Okay, ChocoPro number 361. This took recently also on, well, took place on the 16th of March, but it was not uploaded until today. It opened up once again with Chiko Shikawa. As always, didn't know what to expect, but she gave the lowdown and all this other stuff. Now, very first match, we have singles action. We have Sayaka versus Trans Am Hiroshi. Now, Trans Am Hiroshi, he's a very unique wrestler. He looks more like a guy who's going to play Karate Kid on everybody. But the one thing you need to do is be careful when he does a few things. One of them is when he sings and dances, and he uses that to distract you, to get you into the groove. First time I actually saw this is when, of course, he was doing the boom, boom, tss, boom, boom, tss, we, and they did that the entirety of the entire song. But that kind of always worked in his favor. But however, last time it was multiple people. It was just him and Sayaka. He was able to pick up a win with the leg sweep, which is something we've seen in martial arts. And that's how he picked up the win. And of course, Sayaka was not happy. She was frustrated that she actually fall for his trick. Well, that's her fault for, you know, getting herself in that situation. But we're only human. So anyway, let's move on. Our next match, we have Iri Kanai teaming up with Nonoka Seto. As you know, these two girls are rookies. Um, Seto debuted last year, and this year we have Iri who picked up the win, pick up the debut. But however, they will face against the veterancy of this of their opponents, of course, Masahiro Takanashi and Emi Sakura. That would have been, of course, the easy way. Now, the obvious question, as I said, these two are rookies. Now, Nonoka Seto is yet to pick up her first win. We haven't seen her just yet to do that, but we know she has a bit of a fighting spirit style. Soon she'll catch up to her sister. That's something we could expect. But, however, this match ended with, of course, Iri Kanai actually was the one who ended up being the downfall when Emi Sakura applied the diving body press, and just like that, Emi Sakura and Masa pick up the W. Now, our main event, we have Miya Yatsuba. She teams up with Tokiko Kiyohara. They take on Sayaka Obihiro and Mei Shruga. Very interesting pairing now. Of course, Sayaka Obihiro, we know she's been frustrated. She's been aiming for the tag titles, but this is different. I don't know where Balinaki is. I'm pretty sure he probably went out do something else, but that's only for what we know. But seeing these two team up, that's going to be a little different. Now, we have seen, of course, Miya Yatsuba has gained a lot of improvement in the last year and a half or 2 years, somewhere around there. But it was no match for, of course, when Mei Shiruga applied a double foot stomp onto Dokiko, allowing for her and Obi to walk out as the winners of this match. Now, for our Jonkin tournament, this one was a very difficult one. I wasn't too sure how this was going to grow. But I can skip ahead and tell you guys it was Emi Sakura who walked away and got the piece of chocolate. We will do another Choco Pro real soon. That this one's going to be 362, but we're now finishing with 361. So I think right now we're done with this one. Let's move on with our final review. West Coast Pro, Marvelous Coast. Okay, West Coast Pro with their much recent show, Marvelous Coast. Now, this was a collaboration between both promotions, of course, with West Coast Pro and Joshi Promotion based out of Japan. Marvelous. Now, as you all do know or don't know, these two have a good working relationship. Now, in a certain time, Marvelous founder Chigusa Nagayo and maybe one or two of her students will head down to West Coast Pro Wrestling Academy. They'll try to pick out wrestlers that would love to come to Japan and train with them and do a tour with them. We did see a few of them that did that. We did see Sandra Moon, Titus Alexander, Alpha Zoe, and I forgot who else. So they actually toured with Marvelous, but at the same time, the men actually wrestled in Pro Wrestling Noah. Uh, I don't know if there's a working relationship with them, but I'm glad. Hopefully they do. I mean, they definitely could use that. But however, this also features, of course, the last official match with Chigusa Nagayo, who is retiring as a pro wrestler indefinitely. Like basically, this is her last match. It's over. We won't see her wrestle again, but she will remain as part of Marvelous's staff. As you know, she's the one who books the matches and trains the next generation wrestlers to teach the younger generation the knowledge that she has gained over the years. So we'll see about that. But let's begin with our very, very first match. Our first match, we have Alpha Zoe versus Titus Alexander. Now, it's very interesting that this match has happened now. Alpha Zoe, who's grown in frustration that he's been unable to get an opportunity of the West Coast Pro title that he felt was taken from him, he has to face against the former champion, Titus Alexander. Now, I have noticed Alexander had a change of attitude since coming back from his tour in Japan. If you guys remember, Alexander was a big a-hole from the time he before losing the belt to Starboy Charlie. But for some strange reason, he just turned a new leaf and becoming what he is now, and we've seen him change. But I don't know what it is exactly, but he feels like he has reinvented himself more than what he was back then. But it was a great match, not gonna lie, it was amazing. He was able to apply the German suplex onto Alpha Zoe and just walk away with the W. I thought it was a great match. Our next match, we have Trish Adora taking on you. Yeah, big girl you from the Yoshi wrestling scene. Um, I thought this was going to be interesting. Now we know that Trish Adora has a bit of the powerhouse type. Now, but you got someone like you in front of you. You know you is strong and powerful. I mean, that's what she does. But I wasn't too sure if Trish Adora will be able to put her away. Now, you would think that Trish Adora will try to put in a bit of a powerhouse type move on her. Nope, it did not do any justice for her. The only justice she did use was the T break, which is a submission move, and just like that, you had to tap, and it was over right from there. So, very impressive victory from her. Now, our next match, we have Sadie Gibbs and Tomoko Watanabe. They take on the current AAAW Tag Team Champions Magenta, Maria, and Riko Kawahara. Now, originally we were supposed to have, of course, um, Aya Hosen, who team up with Tomoko Watanabe, but due to some circumstances, she won't be able to participate. But seeing Sadie Gibbs was great, not to mention, um, this was a non-title match. Now, I know some of you would have thought if somehow Sadie Gibbs or Tomoko would have pinned Magenta, they would have had an opportunity of the tag titles. That's something would have been a possibility that would have taken place in Marvelous. But, however, that wasn't the case on this particular day. It was, of course, Rika Kawahara with the Hurricanrana onto Sadie Gibbs, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. Good night, Sadie. Now, I have to say this was one of the most fun matches I have ever watched. This is for the DDT Iron Man Heavy Metalweight Championship. That's right. Unagi Sayaka defends this belt against Hyan. A very interesting wrestler, but however, this match was amazing. I think I was enjoying it. However, the referee was taken out by accident. I think that was Gil who was taken out. I think that's his name. But another referee showed up, Sparky. Sparky was doing the count, but apparently Unagi got in his face. And then out of nowhere, Sparky pinned Unagi and became the new DDT Iron Man Heavy Metalweight Champion. I'm like, what? And then Gil, the referee, saw what happened, and then all of a sudden, he pinned Sparky and became the new DDT Iron Man Heavy Metalweight Champion. And then, of course, Hyan chased him. And then, of course, Hyan becomes the 1618 the 1618 champion, I believe. And then, of course, Unagi was there, and then Unagi did this Sister Abigail on Hyan, and 1, 2, 3, she regained her belt, and just like that, she becomes the 1619 DDT Iron Man Heavy Metalweight Champion. So it's kind of bizarre. So I will do this review with Unagi soon enough until possibly after the weekend, but it's a lot of fun. Now, our next match, this is for the inaugural West Coast Pro Tag Team titles. We have Beefcake, consistent of Calvin Tankman and Beef, taking on those pieces of garbages, Los Suavecitos, consistent of Ricky G and Danny Rose. Now, Suavecitos have begun a war against West Coast Pro for a specific reason. As you know, the Suavecitos are wrestlers from LA, and they're trying to prove that the LA wrestling scene is far more superior than, of course, the West Coast Pro. But however, you would not think that there will be some cuts corners. Now, they were able to isolate Beef outside the ring, leaving Tankman all by himself. But that piece of garbage, Adrian Quest, distracted the referee, allowing for, of course, for Ricky G to use the bat onto Calvin Tankman, allowing for Danny Rose to pick up the win and becoming the brand new tag team champions. But if I was Chris Hero, I would try to find a way to deal with these jerk monkeys because these guys cut corners. Now, our next match we have is a four-way match. We have Jack Banning versus Gia Jewel versus Ishmael Vaughn, and then of course Vinny Masario. A pretty good match. Not much storytelling, but it was a pretty good match. The one thing is, Jack Banning is there to win his matches, not to play games with anybody. That was his entire shit. But you would think that something interesting was going to happen. It just did because it was Ishmael who speared Banning, and just like that, uno, dos, tres, buenas noches, Jack Banning. So just like that, it was completely over. Now, before our semi-main event begins, we did receive some warm welcome from some wrestling legends. You may know this one, Medusa. That's right, the same Medusa who, in fact, threw her title in the garbage can all those years ago. She made her appearance there, and of course, we had Dump Masamoto. We have seen her recently a few times. I've seen her one time in Stardom, and then of course our future Hall of Famer for WWE, Bull Nakano. That's right, Bull Nakano was there too. Now for our match, we have a trios women's match. We have team number one, Sandra Moon, Miyu Momono, and of course, Masha Slamovich. They take on the combined forces of Queen Aminata, Takumi Iroha, and then of course, Chigusa Nagayo. So this was of course Nagayo's last official match. I thought the match was great. Now, there is a lot of variables in this match, don't forget. Now, some of you may question why is Masha Slamovich actually is in this match. Those who've been aware or not, Masha has done a tour with Marvelous before. long time ago, so it's no secret for that. Now we do know that Queen Aminata and Sandra Moon have done tours with Marvelous as well. Queen Aminata did 2 tours with them, and it I have to say it's great to see them. And she's always been fond of everybody in Marvelous since her first and second tour. But it was a pretty good match. However, this match had to end with Chigusa picking up the win when she applied the Scorpion Deathlock on her student. That person was none other than Miyu Momono, and just like that, it was over. However, the commentators did not notice what was happening. Miyu Momono called everyone to get in the ring and do the tradition when it comes to retiring. Those who don't know, the person who's retiring is in the corner of the ring. She gets slammed on that one, but not a lot of them did that. Basically, a few of them gave Shigusa a hug, because that's how it is. And of course, she did give her farewell speech, a nice promo. Luckily, she did have a translator to translate things. Even though she's retiring from in ring, it doesn't mean that she's going to be retiring from pro wrestling in general. We will know she will continue to train new wrestlers for the next generation to pass on the knowledge, which is a good thing. So it was a great celebration of her career, but also it's just a bittersweet that we will never get to see her again to wrestle. So yeah, that's what I got to say. Now our next match is our main event. This is for the West Coast Pro Championship. We have the challenger Kevin Blackwood versus Starboy Charlie. Now, recently, not too long ago, Kevin Blackwood attacked Starboy Charlie after defeating Alpha Zoe. So it seems that he was aiming for this title. But the real question is, will Starboy Charlie once again reign supreme as the champion, or will Kevin Blackwood walk away as the new winner? Well, these two individuals put every inch of what they got to this match. But unfortunately, it was Kevin Blackwood with the double stomp onto Starboy Charlie, and he became our brand new West Coast Pro champion. However, he did a little promo saying things about the bottom of his heart. It just turned out lies because he felt that people didn't believe him. He said he's not coming back to this promotion as the champion because he's not coming back at all. But however, I'm sure that the West Coast Pro management are just they're going to force him to defend that title. But who will be the most likely challenger? Well, we know Alpha Zoe has challenged for that belt before. He would definitely want another opportunity. We just gotta wait and see when that happens. So we'll stick close to more to that. Until then, we do have, of course, um, for the coast happen later on, and then after that, I think we're done. So let's just move on with our last and final thing: news updates. Now, let's begin with our news updates. So let's talk about certain things. Now, the first thing we're going to do is, of course, with the promotions. We have 2 updates from 2 different promotions. As you know, by the end of this month, we will have RevPro's Revolution Rumble 2024 that will be taking place. They announced that Spike Trevette will be involved. Now, those who don't know, Spike Trevette originally came from the other British promotion, Progress Wrestling. He was the top champion, so he will participate in that. Now, finally, we do have MLW with their upcoming event in May on the 11th, Azteca Lucha. We will have, of course, in Príncipe de la Plata, Mystico will be appearing as well. So that's going to be a very interesting thing to watch. Now, let's talk to some certain developments that happened in the world of pro wrestling. For those who know, we just recently had, of course, the latest Stardom shows. This Saturday, we had one. However, there was one particular thing that happened. Azumi has issued the challenge for the New Japan Strong Women's title. Stephanie Fakir expected it. Now, keep in mind, these two ladies, along with Nina, will be participating at New Japan's Windy City Riot, so it will take place on that day. So Azumi will be the challenger for the New Japan Strong Women's title against Stephanie Fakir. So stay close to that. Now, Tokyo Sports conducted an interview with Yuzuki. Now, those who remember, Yuzuki was the new girl who just joined Stardom. She actually debuted late last year, and as you know, she's the winner of the 2023 Rookie of Stardom. It was announced that she was leaving, but the real question is, why is she leaving? This is what she had to say. Want to shine and looking out um, for her future in pro wrestling. Now, there were many people that are concerned over Bushiroad's control of Stardom. I mean, I don't blame her for feeling that way, but it would make sense if she's just looking out to for her future, making sure she doesn't get lost in the shuffle. Well, we'll see what happens until then. Now, interesting thing, Alex Coughlin, who we haven't seen since that cage match in New Japan Pro Wrestling, it was later foretold that he will be retiring from pro wrestling, which is very interesting. I mean, I don't know if he really injured himself or was a decision he made. I don't know, but we wish nothing for the best for him. Hopefully, he will do something awesome since he's going to retire, but we'll see. So that's pretty much it for that. So our final development here, it was foretold that TNA has done their recent tapings. Motor City Machine Guns just said their farewell to TNA. They will be officially free agents, so that's something that has been talked about. We don't know where we land, but we're yet to see those events. I'm pretty sure that it could happen that that particular event will happen into not this coming week, hopefully maybe the following week. We'll just wait and see where that leads us from here. And I think that's pretty much it what we have. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, I was intending to put another review for this episode, but unfortunately, my time did not give me that opportunity. So I will be doing the show from Thailand, Set Up Thailand Pro Wrestling. This one is called Bangkok Strong Style. So basically, we will have Zack Sabre Jr., Al Fantasma participating. I haven't decided yet. I know I'm behind on some events for this particular month. Behind on All Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm behind on Noah. We did just have the recent GCW event. I'm not sure if I'll be reviewing that just yet, but we will see what happens. But for now, we will just do what we can. Now, as the setup Thailand Pro Wrestling event will be the top priority, but I haven't decided yet where I'm gonna go with it. We'll just gotta wait and see. But for now, this is the plan, and we'll go from there. But then, until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day.